Aquarius, Grand Rising, how is everyone doing today? My name is Ashley Indigo, and I'm here to help you see what you can't see, hear what you can't hear, and feel what you can't feel. And today, Aquarius, we are going to be taking care of the December monthly energy reading. Really excited to do this. Excited to get all these knocked out so that we can get to the closeout, the reading of what are we supposed to be looking for when we move into the big six, aka 2022. So real quick, Aquarius, usually when I do these readings, I use the Light Seers Tarot deck, which is like my favorite because we're really just energetically in tuned. And then I'll use the Loving Words from Yeshua, aka Jesus, but Mama got bored with that. You know, like most readers, I have multiple decks. So I wanted to switch it up a little bit. I wanted to go ahead and use the Psychic Tarot deck, which I love because it just has, you know, it makes a point to touch on all the things that I touch on when I read cards anyway. So I'm excited to do that. And then we have the Angels and Ancestors deck that I'm going to use. It's very important because we all have ancestors. You know, when we come here, God gives us angels. We've got our guardian angels, but then we get we get angels as we live this life. You know, when our grandparents die or if we lose a family member, you know, they become our angels. So we get angels throughout life, but we have ancestors. It's so important because right now we are in a phase of generational curses, which we'll see more of those being broken as we move into the sixth. Generational curses. Learning what our generational strengths are too at the same time. And, as we do that, we have to realize that when we do that healing, we are obviously healing our children or our grandchildren or our great-grandchildren, but we're also healing our lineage backwards. You know, we're making people proud, people that came before us, people who maybe didn't know any better or didn't have the tools to make such decisions that were needed or didn't have the strength to make the decisions that were needed to break certain curses within a lineage. It's giving tribute to them, and it's recognizing that they're there, and it's realizing that even though we don't know them per se, there is some bomb ass DNA in them and in us that is it's a part of us. The DNA is a part of us. You know, where they're gone with, we have the DNA of thousands of people in our bloodline, and it's so important to remember that, because when we remember where we come from, we know where we're going. The more clarity we have on that, the more clarity we have in this life, the more clarity we have on, who we're from and who we come from, which is God. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get into it. I'm going to use my Psychic Tarot deck first. Really? All right, already a card came out, and it just dropped out, which is not a bad thing, Aquarius. It's not a bad thing. I feel like we're going to be touching on the past today. It always comes down to the past. I've seen this card. Okay, everyone's kind of starting to sync up, and I feel like we're now having some same journeys. This one? All right, I'll take it. Aquarius, we're having a month of discovery, a month of self-discovery, a month of seeing who you are, okay? So, let's see. First card that we got here, the first two cards I'm going to pull, those are going to be the theme of this month, okay? And I feel like they're perfect because we're moving into the Big Six, 2022. So, the first card that I got here is Shadow. Shadow, 18. Your past. Your past is creeping up. Not creeping up like your past is starting to catch up to you. Your past is creeping up as far as, I feel like lately, this month, past month or two, really, and combined with this month, You've been doing a lot of thinking about who you are, what you've done in your past, how you've changed from your past. I feel like some of you were in such a hurry I'm playing with these hearts over here. I feel like some of you were in such a hurry to get rid of your past, get rid of who you were, so developed to self-growth that there are some parts about yourself that you got rid of that you didn't need to get rid of, okay? Like the overly sexy part of you. I really, when I look at this card, I feel like Aquarius, there was a side of you that was like fun as fuck at one point in time. That was like fun, okay? Real fun. Like Gemini fun. But at one point or another, you made a decision that you needed to grow out of some shit. You needed to grow out of some shit. And I think that when you grew out of that shit, you grew out of shit about you that you didn't need to grow out of. Like your fun, your sexiness, your assertiveness, your independence a little bit. And I don't mean independence as far as being a hard worker, because I feel like Aquarius, that's you. I feel like independence as far as like being an independent being and really revving in that. Okay, like for instance, here's the example that I'm getting. Here's what's coming across in my mind. I feel like say you're a woman, and I'm a woman, so I mean it's easy to, but this could be a man too. But say you're a woman and you are single. I feel like obviously when we're young and we're single and we're hot, we do young, single, hot things that are fun. And I feel like that fun, like that innocent fun, like that, well, seemingly innocent fun, but it just like the part of being a teenager or younger that makes it fun, I feel like that in you has dimmed down. Does that make sense? Like the you that is not ashamed of being assertive, the you that's not ashamed of being sexy, the you that's not ashamed of being overly fun, overly silly, overly goofy. I feel like when you decided, okay, I got to clean my shit up, I need more discipline into whatever decision you made, I feel like you threw that shit out the window with, and that part didn't have to go. Because that's the part of you that people love. That's the part of you that people admire. And they love and admire you the most when you own up to that's who you are. You know, if Rebecca had to get her shit cleaned up, you know, or Kim, whoever had to get their shit cleaned up to be this new, new and advanced person of themselves, good for them. But they might be a different, well, we know they're a different person, but they might be a different sign. They might lead a different life that calls for them to be that way. But I feel like Aquarius, a part of what makes you you is your aloofness, your goofiness, the ability to make not funny shit funny. That's not the part of you that you need to cover up or get rid of. As a matter of fact, that part of you is tapping on the shoulder like, hey, what about me? I feel like you have not quite found the balance between being what people would view as like godly or perfect or what a human should be, should. I feel like you have a lot of shoulds, but I feel like you have not combined that with the goofy, aloof part of you. I feel like you need to figure out how to merge them and be one in that person, in this being. I feel like you need to have healthy balance of the two. I feel like whereas before Aquarius, you might have totally danced with the devil and totally been free spirited and in that part, in that essence. I'm going to say like young 20s, like 23. There's just an aloofness and a carefreeness that you can't have at 23. And you might be a parent now. We make all types of excuses why we can't be fun anymore and why we can't do this. But I feel like that that 23, some of those attributes of who you were when you were 23. Nothing grimy, nothing dirty, just the pure, solid confidence in who you were and what you were doing without a care in the world. That part of you is gone. That part of you is missing. And that part of you wants to come out. Wants to come out to play. I feel like that part of you has been like, you've been so serious, and that's cool. I'm proud of us, but like, let me come out and be goofy. Let me come out and play. Now, the play that we have as adults is very different from the play that we have as children. When we play as adults, we like to drink. When I say we in general, I don't mean me, I don't mean you, I just mean we in general. We like to drink, we like to drug, we like to get fucked up. That's what we like to do. But as we move into the big six, as we move into 2022, we're going to be wanting authenticity. Okay? Look up the word aloof. Aquarius, that's just who you are. Okay? That's just who you are, and we accept that. We accept that, and we love that. That's what makes you so good with children. That's what makes you so cool with children, and we're definitely looking into our future generations, but we want to see more of that. If you have kids, maybe they don't want to see you be so serious all the time. Maybe they want to see you play super soakers with them. Maybe they want to, play, I don't know what the fuck they play on the video games, but maybe they want to play Fortnite with you. Maybe they want you to play Minecraft with them. We want you, God needs you, Aquarius, to get into a different space, to get into a more playful space. Because I feel like for whatever reason, you felt like you need to hide that part of you, but that's who, silly and goofy is who you are. You're also smart as fuck. You're also intellectual as hell. You're also independent as can be. You're also a quick learner. You're also probably the rock in a lot of friendships and a lot, probably a peacemaker and shit with the family. You have so much good qualities to give. But one of your best qualities is your playfulness, your lightness, your aloofness. And we need that in this world. So I feel like you need to come forward. Now, when we unleash the beast, which really isn't the beast, when we think about the shadow, it's shadow work. Shadow work is nothing but a dark-ass term for inner child healing. So when you unleash the beast, aka the toddler 3-year-old, there needs to be balance, but that's where intellectual mind comes into play, okay? The heart is the child. The mind is the adult, okay? Children, we live from our heart. We're so big-hearted and free. Our mind, we're so serious. We're so left-minded. We think about you know what I mean? And it's like they work in combination. And I feel like you've got to find the balance between the two to really love and to really come into entirety with the self, to really feel that you are the whole self, okay? 1, what we think, we create. What we pay attention to, manifest. Wherever our attention goes, energy flows, baby. So this is just a reminder to me that when you decide to let that little friend out to play, know your limits. Know when to wrap it up. Know when it's time to step back into our conscious mind. You got to learn to bring that part of you out to play. You got to learn that the shadow part, all the things that you try to hide about yourself, all the things that you're ashamed of, all the really sad, angry childhood shit, all of that, you have to know when to let it out, but you have to know when to put it back, and you have to know when enough is enough. You have to know your limits, okay? 8, you reap what you sow. Now, some of y'all might still be getting your ass spanked by life, because 8 means as above, so below. You reap what you sow. Aquarius says, I love y'all, but y'all have all done some grimy shit. You might as well come clean about it. I've come clean about my grimy shit, so y'all might as well come clean about yours. It's accountability. Me, I'm a little bit more public with my shit. We all have shit we'll take to the grave, but I've done some grimy shit. So what? Who hasn't? Okay, we know that. Now, let's get to the nitty gritty. Is the universe still whooping your ass for fucked up shit you did? It might be. But know that the way that we counteract that, Aquarius, is by doing good things, by doing good deeds. I feel like, Aquarius, you really need to watch what comes out of your mouth. Certain things that come out of your mouth, they curse us. You know, when we talk shit about how Rebecca's a hoe, or how, you know, we talk about how Samantha's a hoe and she been hoeing, blah, blah, blah. Bitch, I'm this, I'm that. You're cursing yourself. We don't need to do any of that. Let the way you live be an example. You know what I'm saying? Because you've got to come out of that old mentality. You know, the ego itself, when we put those types of posts, when we say those types of words, the ego, we feed the ego off that shit. The soul's not getting any tea. The soul's not feeling any better when we point out how we used to be this, but now we're this. You know what I'm saying? And we do it, and the intention from it, I feel like, is almost passive aggressive. It's like, if you're so happy with what you've chosen and with what you're doing, then why do you need to comment that there's other bitches doing this and that, or blah, blah, you know what I'm saying? We've got to find that. And when we do those things, please make sure that we're doing it from a clean, clear intention of lifting someone up and letting someone know, okay, you know, I used to be that, but now I'm this. We never want to brag about where we're at, because just as fast as we get here, God can pull us down. You know what I mean? So you have to be very careful what you think. You have to be very careful what you speak, and you have to be very careful what you say, because that 8 energy, you reap what you sow. What you put out, you get back. So be very careful. I feel like your mouth is going to get you in a lot of trouble if you don't wrap it. Okay? 1 and 8 is 9. How can I be of service? You can be of service by being authentic. How do you be authentic? Let your inner child come out to play. There is not any person in this world realer than a 3-year-old. I got a 3-year-old downstairs, and I bet you he's the realest nigga y'all ever met. My little 3-year-old downstairs. Because he's in it. He's 3. Can't nobody tell him shit. And even when I'm with him, like, he like checks me sometimes, and I'm like, damn, like, you're right. You know what I'm saying? I don't take it personal, because I'm healing. You know, there are times where I have to tell him, you know, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done that. You're right. Or I might say a cuss word, and he might say, what? Don't say, you know, you're right. It's not, you know, I'm here to teach him, but he's here to teach me. So how can you be of service? By letting your 3-year-old self out to play, by being authentic, by showing people that it's okay to be goofy. It's okay to be silly. You know what I mean? But my goofy and silly ass is taking care of business at the end of the day. Okay? That's how you be of service, by fucking being real and not caring about it. Yeah, there's some things, Aquarius, when y'all do shit, y'all do it different. We're in the age of the Aquarius, so we need that leadership to stand up. I thought it was the age of the Pisces. I thought we were moving into the age of the Pisces, but we're out of the age of the Pisces, moving into the age of Aquarius, which means there's new ways and innovative ways to do things. And one of the things that we need to do to be new and be innovative is to be more fun. And you're going to show us how the fuck to do it. Okay? Harmony. Accepting yourself. Being peace. To me, this is self-love, okay? Let me show you something. Body language speaks a lot. Y'all got to learn how to read people's body language, read people's facial expressions, read people before they talk. Y'all got to learn how to read people, okay? They're in it. They're loving each other. But if you notice, her hand is pushed out further than his. His shit's in here. Because he's with it, regardless. There's a little distance. Okay? You want to know why there's distance? Because she realizes that she has to love herself more. Okay? I'm with you, but you need, you know what I'm saying? This is someone, you're accountable for you. I'm accountable for me. I feel like there's some accountability, Aquarius. Y'all gonna be holding motherfuckers accountable for the way that they treat you. And as you should. You're growing in love, but you're growing in love with yourself. There's growth. You're learning to watch motherfuckers. You're learning to make sure that shit lines up. No longer are we just taking the I love yous, motherfucker. We need to see it. The message that I'm getting from this card is, as long as I love myself, I can never lose. I love you, but understand that you're responsible for your energy and I'm responsible for mine. I see you, but know if you fuck up, I don't have to participate. You have grown. There's been an emotional maturity. You still have some habits you need to let go of, though, per the shadow card. And that's going to cloud this. Your thinking needs to be clear. Be wary of substances and alcohol. Because this is when the bullshit starts. When you're in this state of mind, understand that evil can creep in and fuck things up. There can't be any true harmony if you're using these goggles 24/7. If you feel like you're not growing, how often are you drinking? How often are you drugging? Because in your natural state, Aquarius, you should be growing. You're admired, though. You're admired. But I feel like things don't flow how they should flow, Aquarius, because you are still very suspicious. Very suspicious of the motives of someone really close to you, relationship-wise. Your mind, it's the way you think. Self-help books. Still working on, you're growing. Don't get me wrong, you're growing. But I don't, it's a slow process, I feel like, emotional intelligence. Because you're an intellectual, so y'all don't really do emotion anyway. Y'all are more about like intellect. More about like thinking. But feelings can't be, feelings could be thought, but you would have to allow yourself to feel them first, Aquarius, and that's not something that you too often do. You don't too often allow yourself to feel the way you should. We're moving into 2022, and that's the 6. I've said it a couple times. That is going to represent growth. That is going to represent justice. That is going to increase love in all areas of life, because self-love is going to increase, which means you're going to want authenticity, which means that you're going to have to be real with yourself. Part of being real with yourself is accepting the dark parts of yourself, but knowing the dark parts of yourself that need work, and accepting the fact that if you don't work them, they are not going to work. How do you bring harmony and balance into your life, Aquarius? Be harmony. Be balance. How do you be something? You have to feel that energy. How do you feel that energy? Do things that are going to get you in the energy of feeling love. 6 also means that you need to spend time with your higher self. You need to stop abandoning the higher child. One thing about love is, if you don't heal all the views about love and what love is from the 3-year-old mindset. So if you're not brave enough to go in to the subconscious mind do the shadow work or to do the inner child healing. And if you're not brave enough to go in, have that conversation with the 3-year-old self. Yes, in meditation, we can do it. It's called visualization. And to honestly ask the 3-year-old self, what are your thoughts about love? What are your feelings about love? When we start to ask ourselves questions, what I like to call powerful questions, we're fixing shit. We're getting in alignment. I feel like your view of what love is, and I don't even mean just romantic love. I mean love in general. I feel like your view of love is fucked up. And I don't feel like it's just you, Aquarius. I feel like it's our generation. I feel like it's 90s babies, 80s babies. I was born in 89, but 90s babies, 80s babies, 70s babies. I feel like our interpretation of love is so fucked up, and we don't know what it is. Love is the feeling you feel when you have a baby. Okay. Love is the feeling you feel when you miss your grandparents that you were really close to. Okay. Love is the feeling you feel when your sister comes to visit you from out of town and she leaves. You know? Love is the feeling that you feel when you think of the things that made you happy when you were a kid. The skip it, or the don't wake daddy, or the twister, or the Monopoly. You know? Love is anything that just moves the heart to a space of feeling. You know, when you feel shit in the heart and it's so strong and it makes you feel something, you know, whether it be tears of joy or whether it be just love or warmth or you know what I mean? Love is what we are. Love is where we come from, Aquarius. So deep down, all of us are going to crave love. We're all going to try to do things to feel love. And I feel like, Aquarius, the thing for you, your love has been rooted in whether or not someone is there. Whether there's something outside of you that affirms that you are love. Meaning, if you're a woman or a man and you don't have a significant other, you may feel like no one loves you. You're not love. You're nothing to love. When the truth is, love is a part of your DNA. You were born love. Love was a part of the make. How do you think you were made? In order to make something, there has to be an energy. Okay? A consciousness, a thought. That's where God comes in. God had to use something to form you. He used his energy. His energy. Energy is consciousness. It is also light. Okay? Consciousness travels at the speed of light because consciousness is light. So in order to get made, it took consciousness, intention, and light. Love, aka love. You were shifted using and manipulating love. That is how you were made. One of Satan's biggest tricks is a lot of people running around here thinking that love is in a Hallmark card, or love is in another man or another woman, or love is something to be shown off. Love is money. Love is diamonds. No, you are love. You are fucking made from love. If there was nothing material and it was just you, there would still be love in the world because we are love. It is what we are made from. Now, the energy that we inhibit while we're here, it might not always match the frequency of love because life changes that. We change that because we don't know any better. But you are love. And I think, Aquarius, I need to tell you that love is not something that can be bought. Love is not something that can be purchased. Yeah, it feels good when somebody else loves us, but it feels better when we love ourselves because we know that we come from love. We know that God made us love, and we know that God is love. Some things are just better from the self. And you're never going to experience love in totality if you don't realize first that you are love. Realizing that you're love It will continue to help you grow and continue to help you look at life differently, okay? Patience and planning. Seven. Rewards. 7 means rewards. It also means an increased spirituality, increased relationship with God. It increases the knowing. You have been patient. You have been patient, Aquarius. This season and its seasons. See all the different seasons separated by the pillars? When we think about the Bible talks a lot about seasons. You're in a new season. You know, you'll come into a season of this. It'll be a season of that. Season doesn't just have to do with the 4 seasons. Summer, winter, fall, and spring. When the Bible talks about seasons, it talks about different time periods in someone's life. And I feel like you've been through a lot of different seasons just in this 1 year combined. Now, yeah, typically, generally, there are 4 seasons in a year. But when we talk about seasons, not literally, Aquarius, I feel like you've been through a lot of different seasons in your, not even just in your life, but a lot of different seasons within this year. You've planted some seeds and you've had to watch them grow. You've sat still in situations where you don't want to be. Shit, you might have had a situation where God sat you still because you wouldn't be still. People think it's like we live in a world where you have to go, 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 do, be. And in this world we live in, especially because God's not in charge, he's not the king of this world or the prince of this world. He tells you who the prince is. Satan. You realize that sometimes you have to sit down. When we sit down and when we're in silence, God can move. God can speak to you. God can talk to you. He can't do it if you're too busy. He can't do it if you're moving too much. That's why sometimes if we don't sit down, if we hear that call, if we hear him saying, sit down, chill, relax, and you don't, you may break a leg. Or you may twist something. I don't want to say God's doing that to you, but if it's time to sit down, it's time to sit down. Sometimes when he sits us down, that's our blessing. You know what I mean? It could be a blessing to be sat down. And I feel like you've sat down and you had to do a lot of thinking. You planted a lot of mental seeds. You've been done a lot of thinking about some things that need to change in your life. I feel like there's a pull to you to be patient and can continue making the plans. Understand that every season breeds different turnouts. You know, understand that when you plant a seed, you have to water it. And when you water it, sometimes it takes time. So if you have a plan this year, okay, well then that same plan might not come to fruition until 2-3 years. But just because you don't see it happening in front of your own 2 eyes doesn't mean that God's not moving in the background. It doesn't mean that God's not getting it all worked out for you. I feel like for you, Aquarius, you sitting down and you being down for the count and you being out of it, you know, throughout the many, I mean, this year's about to be over. It's coming. I feel like you're redeeming yourself. You know, trying to learn about your emotions, you're redeeming yourself. I feel like you're taking the information that God's given, whichever way he's given it to you, through message, through this video, I feel like you're taking his teachings and you're starting to apply it to your life the right way. I feel like you hear him talking and you're right there with him. And I feel like you have his grace. Anytime I see sunlight, I know that that's God's grace. I know that. And I feel like, and even if you don't see it here, you know, the sun doesn't shine as bright sometimes, you know, in the winter or when it rains outside. He's always there through every season, through every change, through everything that you go through, Aquarius. God will always be there with you. Be patient. Some of the most fruitful things in this world took time. Keep planning. Keep thinking. Keep being an intellectual. And you'll reap the rewards. I got one more card for us. This is this is perfect. I can't make this shit up. Ta-da! Connect with your emotions. Water guardian. All right, so maybe some of y'all have a water sign moon. Okay, that's going to be a Cancer. That's going to be our Pisces. That's going to be our Scorpio or a water sign rising. You are an intellectual sign, like I've been saying. And you've been working on your emotional intelligence. You've been trying to figure out how to... Well, I feel like originally you thought that you could think emotions. Like you thought that, no, I won't feel them. I'll just ignore them. It doesn't work like that. Or I won't feel them. I'll just ignore them. You don't get to do that. In order to be the best and be of service to your community, aka the human race, you need to show up for yourself. In order to show up for yourself, it is connecting with your emotions. Not just sad emotions, all emotion. The heart space is something that's felt. This is the emotion right here. This is the emotion. This is logic, okay? This is child energy. This is adult energy. Remember I said that you need to get in connection with your inner child? You're going to need to feel, which means I feel tears. When we cry, we let out energy. We let out micro emotions. Energy is nothing but emotion. Emotion is nothing but energy in motion. Okay, connect with your emotions, the feels. There are some things that you need to get off your chest, that you need to cry about, that you have not cried about. Aquarius says, I know y'all don't like to cry, but it's your time to shine. You're up. Because when you cry, you break up hard, thick shit in the heart. When you cry, you create light. You create space. Crying is, remember, those books when we were younger? My 90s babies? Chicken Soup for the Soul. And it was just a book of like a bunch of fucking stories that just would like make you cry because they were so, emotional. You know, they were cute little heartwarming stories. Warm up your soul. It's okay to be emotional. It's okay to show emotion. It does not make you weak, Aquarius. It's okay. I'm hearing it's okay to cry. You know, if you want to have a good cry sesh, call your Cancers, call your Pisces, call your, Scorpio, honestly, depending on your relationship with the Scorpio, they may not be the one to call. I'm just going to keep it all the way honest with you, because they have walls of their own. They have things of their own. And I just feel like if you have emotion and you want to cry it out and you feel like you need that emotional support, get in contact with your Cancers or get in contact with your Pisces. Those are the ones that are going to, and it depends on what you're looking for, Aquarius. If you're looking for someone who is going to baby you through the experience, maybe there are emotions that need to be babied, because only you know what you need, then you might want to talk to your Cancer, okay? If you want someone to sit in the emotions with you, but to keep it real with you, depending on what the material is, you might want to tell a Pisces. Because a Pisces, they're going to tell you what you need to hear, but the delivery is not going to be as soft as a Cancer. If you're ready for cutthroat, straight fucking truth, call a Scorpio. Like if it's nothing traumatic or something that you just need straight cutthroat, just realness, you can call a Scorpio. But if you want someone to kind of be in a sensitive place with you, I would recommend a Cancer or a Pisces. I feel like you love to study Aquarius, and it's crazy that it's like this, but I almost feel like you have to study emotion. I feel like you need to study emotions. I feel like you're the type of person who you can't talk about emotion without crying, and you're not an emotional sign, so that's why you don't do it. Or you can't talk about emotion without getting angry, which is also what you do. We're all children at the heart of it. And children cry when things hurt their feelings. And there might be some things that you never cried about when you were little. And I hate to break it like that, but that's how deep this shit is. That is how deep this inner child shit is. That is how deep we are in the matrix, to the point where people are ashamed to do normal, natural shit like cry. That is how fucked up we are out here. But Aquarius, baby, we are going to get through this, okay? Keep reading those books. Find you an emotional, a book about emotions, about showing that side of yourself. I'm hoping that, I got a little extensive book library here. I'm hoping that as I read, though, I can get my books involved and we can have some kind of, book club, not just you and me, but everyone. And we can share good reads, because I love good reads. I love good art. I love good food. I love, and love is the strongest emotion. So if you can't figure out how to get in tap with your emotions, what I would recommend, Aquarius, a little homework, a little baby homework, is write down the things you love. What do you love? What is it that you love? When we know what we love, then we know what we don't love. Our body is kind of like something that we just have to set it the right direction. And in order to set it the right direction, we have to be authentic. Aquarius, you're probably the sign that I would say laughs so you don't cry. You know what I mean? Like, you laugh at your own pain. You know what I mean? So you don't cry about it. But maybe it's time to cry about it. As we move into the big 6, we want authenticity. There's nothing authentic about a human being who doesn't cry. That's not authentic. I'm sorry. You could put down the oh, nothing can touch me, nothing can hurt me. Put that shit down. Everybody has to release tears at some point in time. And even if you don't have to cry today, like I said, there might be some tears from 3-year-old you that you haven't got to cry. There might be tears from 6-year-old you that didn't get to cry. 12-year-old you that didn't get to cry. You know what I'm saying? It's okay to cry. And as we move into the big 6, we may see more tears than ever from everyone, from ourselves, from family, because we want to be real. We want to be authentic. Being real and being authentic is the closest to God that we're going to get. Okay? I love you. You have a great day, Aquarius.